with all the great houses and lords stressing over marrying their children off only to other highborn families. The result is some unexpected blood relatives. With almost every major character being highborn, I just knew this topic would be fun to talk about. The first surprising pair is Samwell Tarly and Shireen Baratheon. Their last names may be different, but that's because they're related through their mother's side. Both mothers are from House Florent, an ancient house from the Reach. Sam's mother, Melissa, and Shireen's mother, Selyse, were first cousins. Their fathers were brothers. Something Sam and Shireen share is how different they are compared to their serious fathers. Both Stannis Baratheon and Randyll Tarly are very serious people, while their children are more pleasant and curious. Shireen is close with her cousin Edric Storm, who is also related to Sam, but between Shireen and Edric, they share a very close bond. Edric was never in Game of Thrones, and instead just combined with Gendry's story from the books. You know that moment in the show when Gendry was leeched by Melisandre for his king's blood? Well, that happened to Edric in the books. Not only is Shireen and Edric's father a Baratheon, but their moms are both Florents. Next up is Tywin and Johanna. You know that woman who was able to make the stuck-up Tywin smile? Well, that was his first cousin and his wife. It may be taboo to be with your sibling in the show, but I guess cousins are just fine. You see a lot of these types of relationships in highborn families throughout the series. I remember a lot of people in my Stark family tree video comments were shocked that even this honorable family had some incest going on. Tywin's father Tytos and Joanna's father Jason were brothers. These two brothers are some of the Lannisters responsible for the family being so damn big. Tywin and Johanna did spend some time together at Castle Rock as young children, but would really get to know each other during their time serving in King's Landing. Johanna was a lady-in-waiting to the Mad King's sister wife, Rhaella Targaryen, and Tywin was the hand of the king. There would be some rumors spread about the Mad King sleeping with Johanna. This is what led to all the fan theories believing Tyrion to be a Targaryen bastard, but I'm not convinced. Johanna died giving birth to Tyrion. Tywin lost the person he loved and trusted the most and was left with the son that he could not stand. After Jorah Mormont's first wife died, he married Lenise Hightower. This was the woman who Jorah tried so hard to impress. He resorted to selling off slaves for money. House Hightower is a wealthy family from the Reach, and House Mormont doesn't have much on Bear Island up in the north. Ned Stark wanted to execute Jorah for his crimes, so instead of losing his head, Jorah ran off with his wife. She would eventually leave him for a richer man in Essos. Lenise Hightower is sisters with Illyri Hightower. If you don't know who she is, she's Margaery Tyrell's and her sibling's mother. So Jorah's gold-digging wife is Margaery's aunt. You won't see Illyri complaining about her husband's wealth, since the Tyrells are very wealthy. Mace being rich is probably the only good quality about him. He isn't the most impressive character in the story. Bringing it back to the Baratheons, the next pair is something all book readers probably know very well, but I don't think it's even mentioned once in the show. The man Robert Baratheon wanted to kill more than anyone was his second cousin Rhaegar Targaryen. So yes, this also includes Viserys and Daenerys, along with Stannis and Renly on the Baratheon side. The three Baratheon brothers' grandmother was Rhaelle Targaryen, the sister to Jaehaerys II. He was the father to the Mad King and grandfather to Rhaegar and siblings. Rhaelle was never supposed to marry into the Baratheon family, however. Her older siblings were very rebellious to their father and refused to marry who they were betrothed to. It was supposed to be Duncan Targaryen that would marry a Baratheon daughter and make her a princess and possibly a queen one day. Instead, Duncan married the girl that he loved, which angered the Baratheons. They started a rebellion, which didn't last long, and to make peace, Rhaelle was sent to the Baratheons' home of Storm's End to marry Ormond. The Baratheons may have already had Targaryen blood before this point. The first Baratheon and founder of the family, Orys Baratheon, is supposedly Aegon the Conqueror's half-brother. The Baratheons would rebel again many years later after Rhaegar Targaryen ran away with Lyanna Stark, the woman Robert loved and was betrothed to. Robert would be the one to personally kill his cousin Rhaegar in the Battle of the Trident. He even wanted his cousin Daenerys killed after learning she married Khal Drogo, but would change his mind in his deathbed. The last pair of blood relatives is something I wasn't sure I was going to discuss, but since I rarely talk about House Went, I wanted to add it in. Catelyn and her sibling's mother was Minissa Went. The Wents are the same family responsible for hosting the tourney at Harrenhal, the tourney where Rhaegar and Lyanna would meet and where he would name her the Queen of Love and Beauty after winning. One of Rhaegar Targaryen's close friends was a Kingsguard member, Oswell Went. After Oswell visited his brother, Walter Went, this tournament was announced. This was a rich family who threw one of the biggest tourneys of all time. The relation to Catelyn's mother Minissa hasn't been confirmed, but since she married into the Tully family that ruled over all the Riverlands, it's possible she was Oswell and Walter's sister. but since George Martin hasn't made it clear, it's safe to assume she's just their cousin, which makes them Catelyn's cousin as well. Oswell Whent was one of the 3 Kingsguard guarding over Lyanna Stark at the Tower of Joy. He, along with his brothers of the Kingsguard, were killed by Ned Stark and his companions. Vanessa Whent would die in childbirth. There's this huge conspiracy with some of the book characters believing that tourney at Harrenhal was held to gather the most powerful lords of the 7 kingdoms. They believed Rhaegar planned to remove his mad father from the throne with the help of these lords. It's crazy how some of the families would be fighting each other on opposite sides during Robert's rebellion after what happened at the tourney. Oswell was willing to kill Ned Stark, who was his cousin's husband during the war. Harrenhal was eventually taken from this family by Tywin Lannister, and I don't think there are any living Whents left in the story. So those are the unexpected relatives I could think of. But I'm only one person, so I know there's some good ones I missed. So if you have any, let us know in the comments. I have a feeling this comment section is going to be a good time to read through. Thanks for watching, guys.